Hunting alone is probably good for the soul, but I usually prefer company. As everyone knows, dogs make the best company, so when choosing two-legged companions, it's wise to look for those who exhibit four-legged virtues. The humans I hunt with don't necessarily roll on putrefying fish or eat disgusting things they find on the ground, but they're good-natured, loyal to their friends, and they possess terrific noses. Actually, only one of them has a terrific nose. I've been hunting with Rick Thomas for 25 years, but only recently have come to appreciate his olfactory gift. Most years we start the season with a 1 or 2 day hunt near his cabin, then rendezvous with a gang of old friends at a camp we've established in a lovely spot located somewhere between Maine and Minnesota, where for 5 days in October we pamper our dogs, eat like emperors, hone old stories and concoct new ones, and shoot a few grouse and woodcock. I'm the least skilled of the group with a shotgun, and often when I miss an easy going away shot, the other guys are too busy bragging about their dogs to notice. Or at least they pretend to be. That's one of the things I like about them. Rick has always been among the most generous of friends. Over the years, he's loaned me his shotguns, has kept me supplied with shells and sandwiches, has offered his extra jersey gloves when mine were wet, and is one of those fine people who always invite others to take the last serving of the venison stew. He's also kept me supplied with hunting clothes. I started in life a few sizes beneath him, but have managed to close the gap just enough so that every year when his brush pants, hunting vest or coat have grown too small for him, they fit me perfectly. None of Rick's acts of generosity can match what happened one day a few years ago when he, Randy Carrolls, and I were hunting together. We'd been working hard all morning, pushing through aspen thickets so dense that when we tried to call out to one another, we could hardly squeeze a word through edgewise. Finally, Rick decided his setter needed to rest, so he kennelled him in the truck. He also put his gun away, since he long ago vowed never to hunt without his dog. He then announced that he would serve as a pointing dog for Randy and me. I was skeptical. Our species has passed so many centuries indoors, inhaling pine-scented air freshener that we've ruined our noses. We can smell the mushroom and cheese aroma of a woodcock when we hold it to our faces, but not while it's hunkered on the ground. Still, I wasn't about to refuse such a generous act. "Go for it, big guy," I said, and he did. A few feet into the aspens, maybe 20 steps from the truck, Rick froze in a classic point and whispered, "There should be a bird right in front of us." I took a step forward, and a woodcock flushed, rose to the top of the canopy, and collided with a few pellets from my load of number 7.5 shot. Rick accepted Randy's and my praise with modesty, then continued into the woods a short distance, went on point again, and up-launched another woodcock. I'm no expert on pointing breeds, but I think it must be English setter blood that pumps through his veins. Or at least the veins of his impressive snout. A nose like Rick's is a bonus in a hunting companion. None of my other buddies can match it for sensitivity, but I like them for other reasons. I like them, for instance, because they're patient with a lesser hunter's shortcomings. None of them said a word when I missed 10 birds in succession one year, yet when in a fit of brief and inexplicable genius, I killed 2 grouse and 2 woodcock. With 4 shots, they made a big deal out of it, calling me Deadeye without even smirking. I like them too because they're willing to listen politely to some complex scientific theories I've been working on. The evening after I missed those 10 birds, while I was polishing off the stew and everyone else reclined around the campfire in a post-dinner stupor that I interpreted as a receptive mood, I explained that my poor performance was the fault of the Coriolis effect, of the Earth's rotational influences. The Coriolis effect explains why weather systems and hurricanes spiral, why icebergs drift from the poles toward the equator, and why rivers veer more often to the right than the left. It's the theory behind the claim, disproved in laboratories but still popularly embraced, that bathtub water drains counterclockwise in the northern hemisphere and clockwise in the southern. When the Germans fired Big Bertha at Paris during the Second World War, the Coriolis effect caused the shells to curve a mile to the west of where they were aimed. The curve, however, was an illusion. Each shell traveled a straight line, but by the time it reached the target, the Earth had rotated a mile beneath it. The same happens to a load of pellets. The Coriolis effect nudges my shots consistently 10 inches to the west of my target. Why did I miss while the others in camp didn't? because the effect varies according to latitude, and we were hunting at a latitude more familiar to them than me. They had already made subconscious adjustments. When I'd finished explaining my theory, Rick went off to sniff the bracken for birds, while the others said it sounded fairly reasonable to them. Someone mentioned that the late Ed Zern once posited a similar idea, which added a great deal of credibility to my argument. Everyone agreed that shooting as poor as mine made sense only within the context of vast and mysterious global forces. You can't find better buddies than them. Republished with permission from Good Buddies by Jerry Dennis, 2009. The Upland Almanac, Autumn 2009. 2009 by Jerry Dennis.